Hey, Harden brings the ball up the floor, right? Watch Kleba. He picks up, but he picked up so damn high, he cooked himself. Because watch what happens. This whole time Harden walks down, he's playing defense going backwards. And you know what happens to defenders who only play going backwards, right? Who never play spots, who never actually try to beat someone to a spot. What happens? Harden, it's now perfect for Harden, right? This is now perfect for Harden to get into exactly what he wants, which is work you now more back to get into his step back, which is going back to his right side to that left-hand bucket. Tough. If y'all playing in isolation, another thing y'all got to focus on is reading the help. Not just the spacing, but the help. So Harden's got Luka, right? Luka's trying to lead him to his right side. And what Harden is reading is Kyrie in the situation. So with Kyrie having Terrence Mann and Terrence Mann not being established in spacing, Kyrie is also not established in spacing where he is as a defender. And so he's just waiting for Kyrie. Kyrie steps up. James Harden enters his go to the right side away from Kyrie where the double may come from. And so now Harden gets right, leads Luka down. He's in foul trouble, not trying to touch him. Gets into another step back. This is where PG gets unguardable. PG got Derek Lively, double tween. Derek Lively hopped out to that middle. So subconsciously right now, Derek Lively's like, oh shit, I'm leaving him this whole baseline. I gotta go recover. So PG sets us up accordingly, hits that boom, crossover right there. And now I create all that space to be able to get to that left side and get that step back. That's tough, right? And he just got that off of being able to recognize movement. In the fourth quarter at this point, you still got Luka Doncic who's in foul trouble. 4 fouls. Right there, screen got James Harden now. And notice what Russ does. He ends up leaving. Harden doesn't enter his attack because he knows they're going to throw something at him, and that's Kyrie who's about to come at him. Now watch Russ. He circles back up to the ball so he could get this catch, and now what do you got? A 2-on-1 situation, lob right there to Plumlee. Boom, get that too. Right? So understand, these one-on-one situations, these off-ball players are just as vital because you can't go one-on-one every single time. Right? You can't. It's just not going to be possible. So now notice what happens. Now you got James Harden again. They willfully switch Luka back onto him. And now notice what ends up occurring. Right? Notice what occurs. Watch Mason Plumlee. Right? Watch Mason Plumlee. This is some shit I ain't never see a big do. Right? Because Mason Plumlee, he runs up. And now you're thinking you're going to get a ball screen when you see someone sprint up. But he sprints up into a flare screen. And that gives no time for PJ Washington to communicate to Kyrie. And he just swings that over to Norman Powell for that 3 on that right wing. Right? And he ain't just do it once. He's about to do it a second time, but in a different way. This is manipulative for Mason Plumlee. I don't know who said to do this, but they cooking with it. And so now notice what's going to happen on this play. Harden with Luka again. And now you got Mason Plumlee over here on this baseline. And he's going to run and sprint up. But where is he going to set the screen? He ain't going to go on the ball. He's going to curl this and set a pin down. And now you got no time to communicate that to Derrick Jones Jr. So what happens? You end up getting 2 on the ball, PJ Washington and Derrick Jones Jr. when that should have just been a switch. And now what occurs on this weak side is not even so much about what happened at the top of the ball. It's what happens here. Because you got Kleba who could stepped in, but now you don't know. Kyrie cannot drop down. Kyrie doesn't even know what happened on that right side to where they got 2 on the ball from a sprint up into a pin down. And now they end up getting this 2 right here by Russ. Kyrie's late on that drop. Boom, they get another 2. Those off-ball players, I'm trying to tell y'all, are just as important as the ones who are on the ball. And if you're on the ball, always thinking about me, that's when you're going to lose. L. You're not going to win no games if you think you could play one-on-one every single time. So don't get deceived by the title. Don't get deceived by that. And understand, if you want to win on 5-on-5 settings, you must utilize everybody in the 5-on-5 setting. Whoever is on your team and the people you're even going against. This is probably the most important play for the Clippers for the rest of this game because that right there gave Luka Doncic 5 fouls. And now with that 5 fouls, James Harden is about to have a floater frenzy. He about to start going crazy. Watch what happens. You got James Harden with Luka. And now why do I say a floater frenzy? Because at this point, Luka is practically a drill cone. He's not going to try to be aggressive. He's not going to try to beat you to a spot because that's going to leave him susceptible to getting a foul. And getting a foul with 5 minutes left in the game, I don't want to foul out and leave Kyrie by himself because that's practically just handing us this L. So now what happens, right? Anytime Harden's going to make a move, on this go, seeking contact. Luka, he don't want contact. He now gets to stop, create space, but watch this next move. Trying to attack that top foot, seeking contact. Luka don't want that contact. And once he get past Luka, he needs that float because he's not going to be able to finish at the rim when there's also help defenders down there waiting for him. Watch how he's about to cook off this going forward. Harden with Luka again. He's got a floater frenzy. And you got him turning his head. Oh, you already scared of guard. You already don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to occur. But I can tell you this, is that when I now decide to get here into my size ups and get into my goals, you're not going to want to try to stop me. Because you got five fouls. And so now, why is this a floater frenzy? Let me go back to that concept. It's because I know I'm going to get past Luka, but then help is going to step up, right? And now I got to turn this down. Boom, let's go back. Help is going to step up every time. And so I can't finish at the rim. I got to get this floater, dominant hand, strong hand every time. And this is also going to show you, you don't need a strong hand floater as well. I ain't going to lie. Hey, watch Kleba. Watch Kleba. Luka has 5 fouls right now. He tells Luka to go guard PG. What the fuck you think you is telling me to go guard? Nigga, get your ass up. And that alone showed me your mentality as a defender. Because now you got to go and step up and guard James Harden. I already know you cook because you don't even want to guard. You want to sacrifice the number 1 player on our team just for you to not to go into the light and guard James? All right, you about to get cooked. You about to get cooked. You a drill cone too. And as a guard, need that float game because help stepping over. Strong can going to the right on the right side of the floor. He's scared to guard. When Kyrie has the ball right now, he already knows he's going left because he's got Luka Doncic with Paul George who's going to play no help, and I got Derrick Jones on that right side. I'm going to go left. And now when Kyrie makes his tween, all he was waiting for was the cut. Notice, right? When Kyrie makes his go, all he's waiting for is a mere coffee. And the second he turns his back, I hit that tween. And he turns back around to recognize I'm driving. What do? I slow down for a second and watch what Coffee does. He now ends up clearing out. All for me to get to the rim and see 3 hands instead of 4. That's just tough. Kyrie different. Look at the angles on this. Shows it here, brings it back there, brings it to that left side, brings it back under, finds a way to get that shit high. Like, bro, what the type of body control is that? And this play alone showed me dunking is overrated, bro. I want y'all to understand. PG right here, ATO. Lob pass. Should have been an easy 2. Ball slipped out his hands. He got butterfingers. And understand, you already know what type of shot's about to happen, but you don't understand this about the shot. Because when PG ends up getting out the corner and now facing up, his options are, if I go to the rim, I will see Derrick Jones Jr., who's already playing good defense, who's going to be on my side, and Kleba with maybe about 5 seconds on the shot clock, and I'll have to get around to this corner and throw it there. Or I could just find a way to get some space in this corner and get into the step back and get into a shot. He's not just shooting that out of bullshit. It was just the best option available with the amount of time that was allocated. Where Harden has really made his mark in isolations is being able to play out of this position right here, right? This split stance to where he just got a foot replacement, boom, drop, and get by you. And even here, little contact, change of pace, float going to the right with the left and 1 shows you don't need a strong can or offhand float. You just could just use a strong can float. And if you need the offhand at some point, if you're scoring like at a Kyrie level or a Kobe level, then you may have to get it. But you really don't need it for a vast majority of hoopers. And so now after cooking PJ Washington that one way that first time, all right, let's see what's going to happen now. PJ Washington knows I got blown by to my left side, Harden's right side last time. So watch PJ Washington's feet. Watch what he does. He's now already anticipating that. In doing so, Harden remains paced and now takes that step, gets outside that foot of PJ Washington, and now he's able to attack that top foot, get in there, another floater. This is a floater frenzy. And so this week in the Patreon, what we're going to be working on is that foot replacements like you just seen right there, that deceleration from a weight room perspective, a strength perspective, and then also learning how to get that float as a guard. 2 skills for this week. So if you want to see the part 2 for this breakdown where I'm going to go in detail on the skills even more, and if you want to see how you could be able to build your floater so that once you get by your defender, you see this help step over and you need to get some shit off, I'm going to have a workout on that. So if you want to get that, make sure you hit the top of the chat, join the Patreon, or you hit the top of the description and join the Patreon. And also, that's the end of this breakdown. So make sure that y'all subscribe and you got the notifications on. You like the video, and most importantly, that you sacrifice your present self and invest into your future self, and do everything you need to do to get to where you're here to be. So discipline or regret, you choose.